Hi guys, today we're here to chat about pizza, and more specifically, I don't want to call it guilt-free pizza because like if you want pizza, real pizza, go eat it. But if you want pizza and you're trying to stay on track, these are really great recipes. I'm not going to full on call them recipes because they're very easy to put together. This whole thing you'll spend 10 minutes making and cooking. So these are pizzas that I reach for when I want something delicious and quick. You can of course put any toppings you want on these, and of course you could always add more vegetables, spinach, blah 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 blah, but it's like I'm already not having real pizza, so I want to put delicious ingredients on them in moderation. So both of these pizzas end up being about 350 calories each. Of course, depending on what toppings you put on, I will have all of my ingredients and the amounts that I use listed down below. But basically the most important part of this pizza is the crust, and these are the Joseph's Flax and Oat Bran and Whole Wheat Lavash Bread, I believe it's called, and I can't take credit for discovering these. It's actually another YouTube channel called Flexible Dieting and Lifestyle. I'll link to him down below. He has a bunch of pizza recipes, and I actually went out and bought coconut flour with the intention of making them, but then when I saw him using these, I was like, I'm probably not going to be mixing up coconut flour at lunchtime when I want a pizza. This is something I'm more likely to reach for, and he uses these for wraps, all kinds of different things. I'm not sure like the history behind these or anything, but basically this whole thing is 120 calories. So be careful on the back. It says a serving is 60 calories, which is half, but you can see how large these are. So you could cut it in half for a wrap or a mini pizza. I like to go all out and have the whole thing. So I get these from Low Carb Canada, which I will link to down below. I'm not sure if you can find them in store. If you're American, it's probably much easier to find them, but let me go ahead and get started with pizza number one. So the first one is just a classic pepperoni pizza, but like I said, you can add whatever you want to this, and if you want it to be more nutritionally dense, by all means add more vegetables. But to me, I'm kind of like, I want that greasy, dirty takeout feel without the greasy, dirty takeout calories sometimes. So these are the ingredients I use, but use whatever pleases you. I just generally have some kind of pasta sauce in the fridge. So I have ragu, which obviously is not the best pasta sauce in the world, but this is the tomato and basil light. So be sure not to put too much of this on the pizza, but I really like that. And to kind of make it a little bit better, sometimes I'll add minced garlic, and then today I just sprinkled on some oregano to add a little bit of extra flavor. And then I also used some chili flakes for a little bit of spice. Now, I'm not sure if you should put cheese first or pepperoni first. I've been doing cheese first because I broil it at the end and I like to try and get the pepperoni a little bit crispy, but I don't know the real way to go about it. But this may seem obvious, but what really made this pizza for me is pizza mozzarella and real pepperoni. For a long time I was just using old cheddar that I had in the fridge, or I'd be using turkey pepperoni or veggie pepperoni, but I was like, again, I'm already making sacrifices, so let me just use the ingredients I want, but in lower quantities. That's kind of how I've been trying to lose weight, and how I've lost 20 pounds is by portion control and time, being patient with myself. So I have the, I guess it's Armstrong cheese. Any pizza mozzarella will do. This is the light cheese, and seriously, probably obvious, but the fact that I'm using pizza mozzarella makes it taste so much more like pizza, and it's no more calories than the other light cheese that I was using. And same with these regular pepperoni. Most of these groceries I got from Walmart. I do Walmart grocery delivery, but these are just regular mild pepperoni, and they're not like the most high protein, low fat meat, but I use so little of it that it's really not a big deal, and you get a little protein from the cheese. And sometimes I would add pineapple, not to be too controversial, but again, use whatever you want. Then something else that I like to have with this pizza, sometimes I'll do like a ranch, like a light ranch, but I also love chili oil when I'm at like a real pizza place, and that to me really makes it taste good. But obviously in oil, dipping your pizza in an oil is a dangerous game when you're trying to cut calories. So what I do, I mean, you could just use a tiny bit of oil if you want, but what I've been liking to do is mix a tiny bit of balsamic vinegar, which is quite low calorie, in with a garlic oil, and that only adds about, I think, 30 calories or so. So it totally is worth it to me because it makes it taste so much more delicious and makes it really feel like I'm eating something good, which I am. Like, it doesn't feel like, obviously regular pizza would be better, but this is like the closest I've got, and I really do enjoy it. So let's move on to the second pizza, and then we'll put these in the oven. So the second pizza is something that I've been eating more lately. I ate a ton of the pepperoni and then got kind of sick of it, but for the second pizza, it's a little bit more of kind of one of those snazzier pizzas that you would get out at a restaurant with like a white sauce, prosciutto, arugula, all that good stuff. So I start with a base of Greek yogurt, and I know that might seem a little bit weird, but you can't taste it at all. You could maybe skip it, but this adds a good bit of protein. It's low fat. You're using so little of it as well. So I like to use this as my base just to add a little bit of moisture, give everything something to stick to, but it doesn't give it like a weird sour taste or anything like that. I've done that with pizzas before, even when I'm making pizza on regular pizza dough. If I want to have that kind of like white sauce feel, I'll use Greek yogurt and put, you know, garlic and stuff like that in it. So then I just put a little bit of prosciutto ham. I used about 3 slices, and again, this is a higher fat meat, but I'm using so little of it. And you could always crisp this up before you put it on the pizza if you wanted to. That would only take a second or two in a pan, but generally I'm like, I want to eat right now. So what I do is just kind of rip it up into smaller pieces, place it around the pizza. Then next I go in with thinly sliced pears. This to me just makes it so good, especially when we get to the balsamic glaze. But if you're like, pear on a pizza, that's disgusting, by all means, feel free to skip it. Then I go in with some goat cheese, but if you like blue cheese, you could definitely use that there. And the way that I'm kind of approaching this is I have a light base, so I'm okay to use some heavier ingredients, but I'm still weighing everything as I put it on the pizza to ensure that I'm keeping the calories down. And honestly, the first time I made this, I piled on a bunch of goat cheese and I found it to be too much, believe it or not. And then I scaled back the goat cheese and it was still totally satisfying, but you can play around with the quantities of whatever you'd like. And then I also put on some chili flakes as well. So I popped both of these into an oven. It was at about 425 and I cooked them for about 5 minutes on a parchment sheet lined baking sheet. And that's going to vary person to person, but for me, I just keep a very close eye on it because they are very, very thin pizzas. And then for the last minute, I'll throw it on 500 broil just to kind of get the tops a little bit crispy, crisp the pepperoni, the prosciutto, and you kind of get the edges a little bit crispy. The whole base of the pizza is not totally crispy, but the edges do get really nice and crispy, but it's not soggy. And of course, like you could go out and make a cauliflower pizza or buy a cauliflower base or whatever you want. But for me, this has been the most convenient. They're very, very affordable, and it doesn't leave me squeezing the water out of cauliflower, which is very important to me. And these are also lower carb too, not necessarily than a cauliflower, but they are on low carb Canada. I don't follow a low carb diet, but if you're not doing keto or something, these would probably be a great option for you. So once they're out of the oven, the pepperoni is essentially ready to eat. I do like to leave them for like a minute or two before I cut into them because that can kind of move the cheese around a bit. And then for the other pizza, all you need to do is put on a little drizzle of the balsamic. The first few times that I made this, I measured out my balsamic, but now I kind of have a better idea. This is just the Balsamic Glaze from Unico. It's a gigantic bottle. I think it was like $6 and I'll have it forever. And I like to do a drizzle right on top of the pizza and then again over the arugula because I found the first time I did it, I put it just over the arugula and I didn't get as much balsamic on the actual pizza itself. So I put a drizzle of balsamic, a little bit of arugula because you don't want to bake that. That would just wilt and get kind of soggy and gross. And then another drizzle of the balsamic, and it is so good. I've eaten it many times over the past 2 weeks since I decided to make this kind of snazzier version of a pizza. So these are just 2 things that I've incorporated into my routine. Let me know if you would like to see more kind of themed videos to like snacks under 100 calories, my favorite lunches, my favorite dinners, or around particular ingredients, because I know I do a lot of what I eat in a days, but if you'd like to see more specific videos like this, let me know because I love cooking and it's always been my dream to have a cooking show, although this is very basic cooking. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below what your favorite pizza topping ingredients are, or what is your favorite kind of pizza cheat if you're trying to figure out how to make a lower calorie pizza. And if you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!